Right guys, thank you for watching and welcome to the second episode of the PlayStation Rewind podcast, a PlayStation podcast looking back at the last week's top stories, rumours, leaks and news from the world of PlayStation. We have lots to get through and discuss in the video today, so let's get cracking. As usual, I will leave all the links to the articles down below in the description. So let's take a look at what's been happening on Monday the 12th of September. So we start with Ubisoft, and they confirmed that not all future Assassin's Creed games will be the 150-hour RPGs. Thank God for that. They also go on to say that the modern day Assassin's Creed story will be told in AC Infinity going forward. Assassin's Creed Mirage is also reportedly the last AC game for the last gen set of consoles, as all future AC games will be next gen only. Or is it current gen? You know what I mean. All future AC games will be for PS5 and Series X only. Rockstar has seemingly waved goodbye to Red Dead Redemption 2 and Red Dead Online, which, let's be honest, after the fans held an online funeral in the RD2 world, it was also expected that Rockstar are about to leave this behind and put all of their eggs and focus onto GTA 6. Uncharted Legacy of Thieves Collection latest update will add VRR support. So developer Naughty Dog's bundle of the final two games to come out of the Uncharted franchise in Uncharted Legacy of Thieves Collection just got a new update, and Twitter account NaughtyNDC spotted that VRR support has been added. The latest update, version 1.002, went live to PS5 consoles everywhere. So if you've not yet got the most recent update, download it, make sure you get it now. If you have a TV or monitor that supports VRR, of course, otherwise this update really doesn't offer you anything apart from maybe bug fixes. For those that have the necessary monitor, this should hopefully be an exciting update, as both adventures are at their very best in this version and made even better with as high and smooth a rate as possible. It is interesting to see this update come out now, however, because we have rumours that the PC launch of Uncharted Legacy of Thieves is right around the corner, in fact next month. Perhaps this is Naughty Dog bumping up the PS5 version to be more comparable to the visual features likely included in the PC version. Nonetheless, it's great to have VRR support if available and if you have the relevant TV or monitor to support that. So Horizon Forbidden West and The Last of Us Grounded were also in the top 5 in the UK sales charts, and it says here that the UK physical sales chart always shifts a fair amount whenever Nintendo releases a first party title. And it's happened again with the release of Splatoon 3. It knocks The Last of Us Part 1 off its number 1 perch, which now sits in 4th spot. Meanwhile, Horizon Forbidden West is holding very steady in 2nd, and this is buoyed because it comes as a bundle with the PS5. So the top 10 list looks like this, and this is in the UK physical sales. Splatoon 3 is number 1, Horizon Forbidden West number 2, Mario Kart 8 number 3, number 4 we have The Last of Us Part 1, number 5 Nintendo Switch Sports, number 6 NBA 2K23, number 7 Animal Crossing, number 8 Minecraft on the Switch, number 9 Saints Row, and number 10 Pokemon Legends. We also have new Forspoken details revealing how combat marries spellcasting and Parker thrills. We also learned that according to one of the co-directors, Forspoken will take approximately 30 to 40 hours to complete. The article goes on to say Luminous Productions' first game, Forspoken, will take 30 to 40 hours. That's according to its co-director, Takeshi Terada, who gave the estimate. That's just to get through the main campaign of the game, mind you. And Terada did also mention that there will be plenty of reasons to return to Athea after you've seen the story through to its end. Of course, Terada's estimate won't be true for all players, but it does at least sound like there will be a lot to keep you occupied throughout your time in Forspoken to stretch it out to 40 hours. It'll be interesting to see though how much of that time is simply spent on traversal rather than actually playing through the different missions in the campaign. Forspoken has been delayed a few times now, with the most recent having been announced in July, pushing it out to 2023. Despite the fact that we've still got a long time to wait for the release, Square Enix continues to show off more of the game with recent showings at Gamecom 2022 and a post on the PlayStation blog. Hopefully when we finally do get to actually play the game, the magical gameplay and combat lives up to the visuals that we've become accustomed to. Do me a favour guys, please hit the subscribe, like and bell buttons. This really helps out the channel. As we move on, let's have a look at what's been happening on Tuesday the 13th of September. So EA teams up with Omega Force Studio for new next great hunting game. Lies of P Director's Cut gameplay reveals an epic scrapped Watchmen battle, with the gameplay footage revealing around 30 minutes of upcoming Souls-like RPG in action. Captain America and Black Panther Amy Hennig. Game promises best-in-class visuals as it shares DNA with her past work done earlier in her career. We have updates on The Division 2, Battlefield 42 and Final Fantasy XIV. They all received various patch updates to improve the game, fix bugs and so on. Ubisoft reveals that it's changing the way it makes its games going forward. They want to make games that are more focused rather than creating games that cater to all tastes. Maybe we'll actually get a better game from Ubisoft. Ubisoft also confirmed that Skull and Bones for PS5 will be £70 or $70, and that's all of their AAAs going forward. All AAA games moving forward will have the higher standard price point of $70 or £70. Biggest story of the day, of course, was the Sony State of Play, announced 24 hours before the event went live. The article goes on to say, the rumours were true. Sony is in fact hosting a State of Play showcase this month, as it has done now for the last few years. As if PlayStation wanted to make the announcement as close to the event as possible, it was only confirmed on Monday evening or early Tuesday morning, depending on where you live in the world. While the rumours around the showcase may not have gotten the exact date right, the showcase itself isn't too far off. Now that we know it's coming, however, the big question is, what are we going to see? Rumours started to circulate of what we were going to be shown at the showcase. However, we didn't have to wait too long before we got to see pretty decent gameplay and footage at the Sony State of Play. Some of the key highlights and takeaways from the State of Play include Tekken 8, which was fully revealed for PS5 at the State of Play and looks absolutely stunning. Tekken 8 is coming to PS5. That was one of the biggest news bits coming out of the State of Play briefing, showcasing a seemingly real-time fight by permanently aggravated father-son duo Kazuya Mishima and Jin Kazuma. We got to see the two legendary Tekken fighters smash each other up with all manners of punches, kicks and of course their trademark charged uppercuts and other such moves. Most noticeable though was the absolutely huge uptick in visuals. Tekken 7, which came out in 2017, looks positively dated in comparison, as Tekken 8 showcased a rainstorm drenched fight while trees burn in the background, casting embers into and fro. More than that, the character models just look absolutely incredible, with absolutely gargantuan levels of detail gracing their bodies and faces, rendering them in fidelity that we just haven't seen before. We also got to see Yakuza Ishina, which was being rebuilt for PS5 and PS4 due to release in 2023. We also got to see PlayStation 5 exclusive AAA game called Rise of the Ronin, which is a new Team Ninja action game set to release in 2024. So just when you thought that Team Ninja was going all in on Wulong Fallen Dynasty, it unveils Rise of the Ronin, which is a game set in 1863 in Japan. This is an action game that looks pretty damn cool. It's aiming for a 2024 release and it's going to be a PS5 console exclusive. Comparisons to Ghost of Tsushima will obviously be made, especially since this is going to be an open world title. At one point in the trailer, we see player characters leap from a building's rooftop and open up a set of wings in order to soar over the town below, which is something we bet that Jin from Ghost of Tsushima wishes he could do. The game's being described as an immersive combat focused action experience. What else would you expect from Team Ninja? And of course, we got to see more of God of War Ragnarok as the game teases Kratos versus Thor in stunning new trailer for the PS4 and PS5 sequel. Sony closed out the latest state of play with a jaw-dropping new trailer for God of War Ragnarok, giving us a first proper glimpse at the epic rock between Kratos and Thor, God of Thunder. God of War Ragnarok is slated for release on November the 9th for PS4 and PS5. Developer Sony Santa Monica Studio recently confirmed that the game will boast over 60 accessibility options for players. Meanwhile, the studio also blew the lid wide open on a number of new abilities for God of War Ragnarok's combat system, including the fact Kratos' shield will now have functions, as well as introducing weapon signature moves. We also got to see a new limited edition God of War Ragnarok DualSense controller, which looked pretty cool for those of you who like collecting special edition items. Okay, so moving on, let's take a look at what's been happening on Wednesday the 14th of last week. Do me a favour guys, before I move on, please hit the subscribe, like and bell buttons. It really helps out the channel. We have Ironwood Studios' new driving survival adventure Pacific Drive, which will be coming to PS5 in 2023. Stray is getting a physical edition release on the PS4, and this is for the standard edition, and this is coming out in November. Like a Dragon 8 officially announced, starring Ichiban and Kiryu, coming to PS5 and PS4 in 2024. And Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy's Edge Enhanced Edition will be coming to PSVR 2. Fallout 76 and Sniper Elite receive performance patch updates. It has also been confirmed that the Tekken 8 trailer was indeed captured from story mode in real time running on a PS5. Bandai Namco Games' Katsuhiro Hirata has revealed in a post on the PlayStation blog that the stunning Tekken 8 trailer showcased at the State of Play was running in real time on PS5 and captured from the game's story mode. From the look of things, it is similar to Tekken 7's cinematic story, where you have characters engaging in conversation before the action transitions seamlessly into combat. All the character models, backgrounds and effects are the same ones that are used in the game in Tekken 8. Although this was captured from the story mode, it is not pre-rendered movie made for the trailer, but rather real-time rendered footage running at 60 frames per second, similar to how you would experience the game in versus battle mode. Of course, some of the effects, dialogue, as well as a camera angle, which is currently being updated, may change when the game officially launches. We had the first PlayStation VR 2 previews, they were in, and they are all on point, suggesting a promising new generation of VR for the PlayStation. So on Tuesday, Sony hosted a State of Play, at which it presented new games coming to the PlayStation VR, but lacked any new information about the console itself. Fast forward to Wednesday, and we've got quite a lot of new information about PSVR 2, as the first previews pour in from different outlets, all of them pointing to an exciting generation of VR on the PlayStation. Now, I did a video about this earlier in the week, so if you want to perhaps have a look more into this, please have a look at my previous videos. This is just a snapshot of that bit of information. So GameSpot, IGN and Eurogamer were among those granted access to go hands-on with the PSVR 2 and play a few titles. They played a few games and confirmed that the early looks seem very, very positive, as the games seem capable of delivering that magical VR feeling possible on the platform. All in all, the hardware and the software available look promising, but the question of the price still looms, and whether or not players feel like this new generation of VR is worth the price of admission. Do me a favour guys, hit the subscribe, like and bell buttons. This really helps the channel out, especially with the YouTube algorithm. Okay, moving on, let's take a look at what's been happening on Thursday the 15th. So Square Enix opens up to making joint ventures or taking a minority stake in its own studios, opening the door to Sony and of course anyone else interested in partnering or acquiring parts of Square Enix. The Yakuza series will officially be known as Like a Dragon going forward. Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion receives 13 minutes of action-packed gameplay at the Tokyo Game Show. Children of Light is officially coming to PlayStation in December 2022. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 beta code and release date has been made available to those interested in participating in the beta version, with Warzone 2.0 being confirmed that it will launch on November the 16th. Resident Evil 4 remake for PS4 now in development, with a new Resident Evil showcase coming in October. Cue the PlayStation Showcase rumours for October. Confirmation that the Uncharted Legacy of Thieves collection on the PC has been confirmed and will launch on October the 19th. And the directors of Like a Dragon Ishin have said that due to the success of Ghosts of Tsushima across the world, this has given them the confidence and paved the way for them to release Like a Dragon Ishin for the West. And it was also confirmed that Tekken 8 is being developed in Unreal Engine 5. Star Wars Eclipse will still fundamentally be a Quantic Dream game while being an action-adventure. That's according to the studio's CEO. Star Wars Eclipse felt like a great fit for many Quantic Dream fans when it was first announced. A deeply narrative game set in the Star Wars universe. So many took to it as a shock when it was revealed to be an action-adventure title. Despite that, fans of the studios need not fear, since according to the Chief Executive Officer, Guillaume de Fondu-Meri, I hope I haven't butchered that name. I do apologise, Guillaume. He said, "We're certainly going to keep the fundamental elements of a Quantic Dream game. What that means is a very strong story, very strong characters, multiple playable characters, and of course giving the players the possibility to change through their actions and decisions how the story unfolds as you progress through the game," which sounds very exciting, sounds very Mass Effect-like. Quantic Dreams strives for narrative and characters that are able to immerse you into a whole new world with decisions that carry real weight with them emotionally and in the course of the game. Its success is up for debate, though it's clear that the studio struck a chord with millions of players with previous titles like Detroit Become Human. To put the studio's effort towards Star Wars really is an intriguing idea, both because we can see how it plies its own look into Star Wars and how it steps out of its previous comfort zone with an action-adventure type game. Next, we have Kojima-san trying to troll us again. Kojima Productions ruled itself out of having to show anything at the Tokyo Game Show, stating it wouldn't be showing any games at this year's event. That said, a mysterious new page has popped up on the studio's website. The natural conclusion is this is a teaser for a Kojima Productions next game. Hideo Kojima actually has history of unveiling his latest works in unusual ways, so this is actually pretty subdued if anything. Of course, it might not be related to a new game. We all know the company has an extensive merch range, and Kojima's been busy lately promoting his podcast. This could be anything at this point. Some people have figured out that the mysterious figure indeed is Ellie Fanning. Kojima and Fanning also know each other on Instagram, which may add a little weight to the theory. She certainly seems to fit now that we want the studio to come out and tell us more about the "Who Am I" image and whatever this relates to. More news about the Microsoft Activision deal and Sony's objection to the deal. So Sony won't let Microsoft's $69 billion Activision acquisition go, stresses it's bad for gaming. Microsoft's enormous buyout of Activision Blizzard has been the big industry story now for a while, and as all the legal dealings are happening following the shock news itself, the scale of the bid is making real waves. As the UK and EU prepare for further investigate the implications of such a massive acquisition, Sony's taken the opportunity to have another pop at the corporation. Recently, the UK regulator stated its concerns about fair competition if the deal were to go through, which prompted Xbox's Phil Spencer to reiterate Call of Duty will remain multi-platform for the foreseeable future. Sony took issue with that, saying that the agreement about this was inadequate. As reported by games industry, regulators in the UK and EU will now further scrutinise the Microsoft's plan, as the firm never responded to its initial concerns. Sony, meanwhile, has issued games industry with a fresh statement on the matter. The company welcomes the announcement of the investigation, saying that giving Microsoft control of Activision and its games would have major negative implications for gamers and the future of the gaming industry. The statement continues, "We want to guarantee PlayStation gamers continue to have the highest quality gaming experience, and we appreciate the CMA's focus on protecting gamers. In other words, Sony's delighted the deal is caught up in so much red tape, and this public statement makes its stance perfectly clear. Of course, franchises like Call of Duty are huge for PlayStation, so the platform holder would never want to lose access to that. So the longer the merger is held up, the better for PlayStation. Microsoft has responded to Sony's comments about the acquisition with yet another statement to games industry. A spokesperson said it makes zero business sense for Microsoft to remove Call of Duty from PlayStation, given its market-leading console position. This doesn't necessarily mean Microsoft will keep the FPS series on PlayStation forever, but it has made similar comments several times before. Hopefully the two companies can reach some sort of arrangement that satisfies both sides, but this is not over yet. We had news on The Outer Worlds, which now supports 60 FPS and native 4K resolutions on the PS5. Street Fighter 6 closed beta starts on the PS5 on October the 7th. Fall Guys, Marvel's Avengers, Genshin Impact, and Jurassic World Evolution, and also For Honor receive new updates and patch fixes, along with Suikoden 1 and 2 HD remasters coming to PS4 in 2023. We had the new Wulong Fallen Dynasty game, which had a playable demo come out on the PS5, which I have to say plays very, very well. Team Ninja has dropped a time-limited demo on the PS Store for Wulong Fallen Dynasty, allowing you to play on the PS5 until the 26th of September. While the game is still coming to PS4, the demo won't be made available on Sony's last-gen system. Beating the pre-release test will earn you the Crouching Dragon helmet for use in the full game next year. The action-packed demo features a glimpse inside a dark Three Kingdoms world gone mad and the chaotic struggle to save a once beloved land now infested by demons, a press release says. Featuring swordplay ripped from the Chinese martial arts, the demo showcases the strategies and swiftness of battle, while also giving gamers a taste of online multiplayer, the character creator, and in-game abilities including vertical exploration and the importance of morale. We have the hotly anticipated indie game Hollow Knight Silksong, which has been confirmed for PS5 and PS4. Hollow Knight is one of the most beloved indie games of the last few years, with its tight gameplay, enormous world, and impressive bosses. The follow-up, Hollow Knight Silksong, was announced all the way back in 2019, so it's been a very long time coming for fans of the Insect Souls-like games. Now, PlayStation itself has confirmed the game is in fact coming to both PS5 and PS4. We still don't know a release date, but fingers crossed it's not too far away. The Japanese Game Awards has taken place and has crowned Elden Ring as the best game of 2022. The Japan Game Awards has named From Software's critically acclaimed Elden Ring as its best game of 2022, with the fantasy RPG picking up the grand award during the event. The annual ceremony is held by Japan's Computer Entertainment Suppliers Association and is partially voted for by the public. Elden Ring picked up grand awards in general voting, and the company issued the following statement to mark the achievement. This game, which depicts a dark fantasy world with overwhelming volume and quality, has gained tremendous support from many players, with enthusiastic comments such as "Everything about the game is perfect. It's a god-level game." Elden Ring also picked up an award for excellent alongside a bunch of other major releases, including Final Fantasy Endwalker, Ghostwire Tokyo, Horizon Forbidden West, Pokemon Legends, and Resident Evil Village. They all picked up various awards at the Japanese Game Awards. Meanwhile, the Minister of Economy, Trade and Industry Award was given to Hidetaka Miyazaki, the creator behind the Souls franchise. Elden Ring was released back in 2022 and has become a smash hit around the world. Moving on to our next piece, Sony has confirmed that PSVR 2 is not backwards compatible with PSVR games. So PSVR 2 will not include any backwards compatibility support with PSVR titles, meaning those games cannot be played on the new virtual reality headset, Sony has confirmed. Speaking in the latest episode of the official PlayStation podcast, SVP of Platform Experience Hideaki Nishino says this is because the PSVR 2 is designed to deliver a truly next-gen VR experience, citing new features like the Sense controllers and inside-out tracking. When all of these new features are put together, this means developing games for PSVR 2 requires a whole different approach to original PSVR, Nishino explains. With backwards compatibility now off the table, the only way for PSVR classics like Astrobot Rescue Mission and Beat Saber to become available on PSVR 2 now would be through new updated versions, for example through free patches, or as a new, entirely brand new created SKU. Sony released a free adapter at the launch of the PS5 to allow PSVR headset wearers to use the device on its new machine, but these games weren't upgraded in any way. So with the PSVR 2 now slated to release next year, a recent press blowout revealed that the new Horizon Call of the Mountain gameplay had some very positive impressions for the next-gen headset in general. I mean, how do you feel about backward compatibility with this not being confirmed for PSVR 2? How do you feel about PSVR games not being able to work on PSVR 2? Do you think Sony should have built that feature in? I never really played on the original PSVR, because when it first came out, I didn't like the handset move controllers. I didn't think the games were that mainstream. They just didn't look like games I would enjoy. They looked like demos or indie games or weird games. I didn't feel I would enjoy them, so I never really invested in the PSVR. But over time, I've seen quite a few good games that I wouldn't mind trying. Since then, I've tried to keep up to date with as much information as possible about the PSVR 2. From what Sony is saying, the tech is completely different. Therefore, the PSVR 1 games simply just won't work. They won't be compatible unless the developers spend more time to make patch updates to make the games compatible with the new technology. If the developers do this and then make the patches available for free, then I think that would be great. That's the right thing to do, and lots of people will praise Sony and the devs for doing this. But if they develop the patch and then say that due to development costs they're going to charge $10 for allowing you to play the games you already own on from the PSVR to play them on the PSVR 2 system, I think Sony will lose a lot of credibility. I think it's not the right thing to do. I mean, I know prices around the world have gone up and development of games has gone up, but lots of PlayStation and PSVR gamers have invested in the PlayStation ecosystem, and they deserve to have their catalogue of games available to play on the next-gen VR set. Especially if the developers are able to release a patch for it. Why make gamers pay? Well, not just gamers, they're your fans, they're your supporters. Why make them pay twice? Come on Sony, sort it out. Our final piece of news for Friday is about Resident Evil Village. And Resident Evil Village looks like a new game in a third-person mode. It looks like a third-person mode will give you a reason to replay Capcom's spectacular Romanian horror. A new trailer from the Tokyo Game Show showcases several minutes of footage from the new perspective, and it's almost like a brand new game, and it's quite impressive stuff. Of course, if you're not in the mood for revisiting the main campaign, then there's always the Shadows of Rose expansion, which will also play out entirely in third person. The final prong of the expansion will add a fresh mercenaries mission and playable characters, including Lady Dimitrescu. Some of the animations here are fantastic as she applies lipstick and sips from a goblet while towering over her foes. Okay, that brings us to the end of the week and into the weekend as we take a look at what's been happening over the last couple of days. Several PSVR 1 ports in development for PSVR 2. So fresh from the expected news that the upcoming PSVR 2 will not be compatible with previous PSVR titles, it's now been claimed that a number of original PSVR titles will be ported to Sony's new headset as we speak. So responding on Twitter to a post, a very reputable VR-centric YouTube channel allayed fears that adopters of the PSVR 2 would not have access to some of Sony's VR back catalogue, by alleging that tons of developers are working on PSVR 2 versions of their original games. It's unclear what games are being referred to, but we'd hope that Stalwart's Astrobot Rescue Mission and Moss Book 2 are included in the mix, especially with the latter released just a few months ago. The likes of Resident Evil 7 and Tetris Effect are perhaps more wishful thinking, but we can still dream. It's worth bearing in mind that the reputable YouTube channel was one of the first sources to accurately leak the headset's specifications, as well as coming out of the gates early in saying that a release was likely in 2023. So their track record is absolutely fantastic, and it's not to be sniffed at. It makes sense for Sony also not to only have a back catalogue, and it gives their older games a new lease of life, similar to the strategy employed by Nintendo for its Switch re-releases of Wii U titles that perhaps didn't get the love they deserved the first time round due to the low console adoption rates. What original PSVR games would you like to see on the PSVR 2? Let us know in the comments down below. The final story here, and the last story, the next story, has been dominating the weekend. There's been a massive leak at Rockstar Games and Rockstar Studios. GTA 6 leaks have appeared online this weekend with around 90 videos being posted online. So a plethora of footage claiming to be early in the work footage clips of Grand Theft Auto 6 has been put online overnight. So we have about 90 videos were leaked on the GTA forum by a poster named Tipo Turbo Hacker, and the videos very much appear to be real. With the game still so far away, it's important to remember the footage provides examples of something early in development. I won't be hosting the content here, but you can view the videos all over YouTube and Twitter. Robbing a diner, the player is given a set amount of time before the cops arrive to steal money from the cash register and take hostages. Once the cops do arrive, a female character and male accomplice steal one of the cars and are told to lose them in order to complete the objective. Of course, there is still a possibility that this is all fake, but never has the internet witnessed such an absurdly large and detailed leak before. 90 videos of a game still being made is unprecedented, especially for such a big upcoming title. We're pretty confident this is real. Those of you who are gleaning through the footage say they've spotted references to GTA Vice City, which does indeed back up rumours from earlier this year claiming GTA 6 will be set in Miami. The leak also corroborates suggestion the game will feature a female protagonist alongside other playable characters in a storyline influenced by bank robbers Bonnie and Clyde. The leaks make up 52 minutes of footage if you put all the videos together. That's incredible, 52 minutes. The internet is still scrubbing through footage, so it's possible more details and more information about these leaks will come out in the coming hours and days. While it's very much work in progress, what do you think about the GTA 6 leaks? What do you think this looks like? I know it's early build and there's going to be lots of polish in the game. Game's not coming out for another 2 or 3 years at least, at the minimum. So what do you make of all the leaks about GTA 6? Let me know down below in the comments. Let me know your thoughts, and we'll see what happens this week regarding the leaks. Okay guys, thank you for watching. That's going to do it for the second episode of the PlayStation Rewind podcast. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have any recommendations and suggestions for the podcast, be sure to let me know down below in the description. Thank you for watching. On your way out, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, leave the video a like, and hit the bell notification icon.